What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here, the dyslexic investor, and oh my gosh, poor Mr. Carl Icahn. He's not poor; he's a billionaire, but he lost nearly $2 billion betting on Hertz. Again, he's been an investor for Hertz for I think since 2014 via the article. Again, placing a bet of nearly $2.3 billion totally, owning nearly 39% of the company at one point with all the shares outstanding. This guy had a huge stake in it and basically was now fetching 72 cents-ish, pennies on the dollar. Now the investment went from 2.3 million to 39.8 million. Okay, that is a one heck of a drop. That is absolutely insane. He was still bullish on it because it's saying in the article that he added additional 11.4 million shares at nearly $84 million between March 10th and 12th. That was probably due to a sense of a lifeline to kind of give the company to see if they can make it through the overall pandemic, because this pandemic really literally wiped them out, and if they had not the world's strongest balance sheet. And we're going to actually compare this to Avis stock on their the strength on their receiving compared to what happened to Hertz here, because Hertz is a very sad story for sure. Looking at potentially they're filing for bankruptcy. They basically have I think 2 or 3 weeks to kind of recondition things. There are some other articles coming out there saying just before the filing of bankruptcy, the board approved $16 million for bonuses for 340 top executives of the company. They will have to pay them back only if they leave the company before the next spring. So again, if you got, I don't know, what, 340, let's do that math real fast. We're just going to do a nice even split. Come on now. So we're saying 16 million divided by 340. So each executive got initially, we'll get, I don't know, not all executives created equal, so each of them got about $47,000. So if they don't, the company's probably going to go under before this, so I'm not sure what's going to happen there. That being said, we'll see what happens here, because this is a lot of people are trying to buy the dip here. I don't think there is a dip. I think it's just a fall off. It's just going to continue going down. I call it the black hole of bankruptcy. It's just going to continue and just go and disappear, and then Hertz is going to have to sell all those cars. So if you're in the market to buy a car, I think Hertz is going to be your best bet to buy a car. I actually looked it up online. They actually have a particular website where you can buy their used vehicles. They seem kind of expensive, honestly. There still wasn't a fair price. But that being said, we're not here to make fun of this incident, but they put themselves in this position, in lack of better words, for not being able to have a parachute in bad times. I'm not going to go into the overall balance sheets because I'm not a accountant or a full-fledged financial analyst in that section. We are just looking at a look at the charts and some of the fundamental news regarding this. So that being said, we can kind of talk about on how this has really changed the market. Again, this is going to be happening a little bit more and more from what a lot of people are saying on a lot of companies, that during these very bad times, you're really going to see the ones that the ones that kind of float to the top, the poopy companies, that they're the ones that are just going to be kind of the ones going to be taking the brunt, the first phase of bankruptcies and people feeling the hard times. We talked about JCPenney, we talked about Hertz, we talked about AMC's struggling. All these different various companies are just struggling, again, not having the world's best balance sheets, not having the customers to be able to continue opening and operating their business. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to the charts here. So this is, again, Hertz Global Holdings. Closed Friday at $1. Again, literally on February 20th, it was $1. It was $20, okay, or $21 nearly, and it had a fairly strong quarter. Like, it ran up, but then it kind of dropped off due to probably they took a loss on that on that quarter, which is strange because the last couple quarters they've been fairly profitable. Maybe taking some bigger losses for whatever reason. This chart right here is basically what sums up everything on Hertz. So this is a weekly chart. You can look up here on the top. And this has been trading basically between, we're just going to call it 25 and 15, literally for years. There has been no growth. There has been nothing going on here. Let's put it actually down to a monthly chart. Poor Icahn actually bought in, I think it's the article said in 2014. Yeah, 2014. Not exactly what month, but he literally bought the top. Buying the top, he literally bought it at close to $90, $85 to $90. And then ever since then, it just has been a complete, utter disaster. Ever since 2014 into 2015, you have not seen it break out above the 21 exponential moving average, failing so many times here, and here. Last kiss right there, and then now back down all the way to zero. It's super sad for sure. You never want to see a business completely struggle, but it's kind of been in the works, in lack of a better words, for this particular company, seeing very substantial, not well operating costs, from my understanding. Again, not a financial accountant. That being said, looking here at the technicals, it just sums up it's very well. It maybe people thought it was going to build a base here, but it never broke above the 21. So that's very key factors here. Again, on the daily chart, you literally see that even more highlighted here just in the last month and a half, 2 months since its earnings, and just been a completely downtrend movement with no lack of any life or anything in this company. Mr. Carl Icahn is a very smart investor. You can't get him all right, that's for sure. But again, he said that in the article he bought nearly $84 million in March 10th and 12th. So January, February, March. So he basically bought some within this range here. That's where it plateaued around the 830 level, but then that only held for such a short period of time, and then that floor broke down, and it just continued dropping from the $8 all the way down to $350-ish, and then wanted a V-shaped recovery, but again didn't have the momentum and the strength to break through the 21 and then continue hugging that and kissing it goodbye, and just continue sliding lower until the wherever you go to file for bankruptcy, they're just waiting in line for that. There has been some opportunity to buy this at times, like people bought this at 4 cents the other day. I've seen some pretty crazy trades where people bought this the other day and bought it at 4 cents, then had literally a 200% recovery in it. Again, that's a day trade. This is not an investment. We're talking more about the investment side of things. You can day trade this. I wouldn't recommend it because look at this volume here. This is absolutely gangbusters of hitting crazy volume. We're hitting 200 million shares. It has not hit 200 million shares in a long time. We can see here that is a enormous amount of shares. That's usually the last fuse, the last lifeline in a company when you see basically everyone just trying to run to the door and get out to get any little, again, like Carl Icahn did, pennies on the dollar to kind of capture that investment and potentially write it as a tax loss harvesting and try to roll that into another position. Carl Icahn's accountant's going to have a lot better knowledge of the tax code and how to write this particular investment off. That being said, the funny thing is, not funny, the ironic thing is that Hertz is struggling, but then if you look at Avis, it's doing great. it's again, it's like they're like, well, one of our competitors are dying off, so it's our opportunity to take that market share. It's crazy, right? Like Avis is now one of the bigger companies here trading. But if you look at Avis as well on the monthly chart and weekly chart, it has just been a very, not the world's greatest performer there as well. Basically, not seeing much growth here. This is not going to be a growth stock. They don't pay a dividend. I don't understand why would someone would want to own this, to be quite honest. Again, it topped off at, well, it had a high in '08 or before the crash of '06. Let me see if I can go further out and do a weekly. Yeah. So this has been trading since 2001. It's just kind of been trading, got all the way up to 250. And then ever since the, I don't even know what the heck happened there. We need to look that up. That's not even the financial crisis there. It just kind of took a haircut. It looks like they did maybe a stock split or something. Or they'd sold something. Super strange. But then ever since then, it's just been, again, topping off in 2014, just like Hertz did, and then just kind of been trading sideways, kind of breaking above its 200 exponential moving average on the weekly chart here a couple times. Having quite a couple nice runs here, but nothing too substantial. Like I can show you something that's absolutely fabulous looking, which is like an Amazon. Like, look at Amazon. Like, that is what a growth company looks like. It's well above the 200 exponential moving average on the weekly chart. It's continued going higher. I'm not sure why. Again, people make their own investments. It's completely fine with that. I'm just saying, be mindful of what you're buying. Like, if you're buying a cruise line stock, like, it's not going to be as fast growing. Yes, it's going to be, I'm doing air quotes, safe. But again, we saw with the pandemic, it wasn't the most safest thing as well. Like, oh, it's a great budget way of friendly of doing business. Like, I think my honest opinion is that these cruise line stocks could come back for sure, but they're not going to come back to the full strength that we saw. I think that people are going to still have it in their mindset that folks are just going to, it's going to be a different business model. It's something else is going to come from it. We have seen the light. We have seen that other door open up, and we don't like it. So things are going to start changing people's perspective and things like that. So that's my honest opinion. I don't know why I went on a rant about cruise line stocks, but we can go back to Mr. Carl Icahn here to kind of sum things up. Poor Mr. Carl. Again, very smart, intelligent guy. Sadly, Carl at 84, basically taking a substantial loss here. Again, we'll show the numbers and everything. Nearly $2 billion lost on this investment. Very sad for sure. Again, are you guys buying Avis? Like, would you even think about buying Avis? Like, I don't see it. Like, I don't know why anyone would, but that being said, if you guys have any comments or questions down below, we are doing a live stream this Sunday around 8:30, 9 o'clock, I believe. I have to get that posted. If you want to join the Discord, that's also down below, and also down below. And also, if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon page to go there as well to check that out. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.